Come on, you don't want to go to jail. Walk out.
Go ahead.
Go on, walk.
Go ahead.
Go.
Go ahead.
Karens get upset about the most trivial things. That's why we love to hate on them. Sometimes they get upset about people fishing in the community pond or the ocean. Other times they're yelling at kids skating in a skate park of all places. But today, we're dealing with a different level of Karens. The Karens in today's videos flipped out because of a late meal order, $1.75 worth of sauce, and a free McDonald's cookie, which they did in fact get for free. And what's even more special about them is that not only did they flip out over nothing at all, but they also got to go to jail for it. So strap in, because these Karens are really far out. Sometimes being hangry makes you overreact in an aggressive way. It certainly has that effect on me, but luckily, I never resort to violence. Sadly, that cannot be said for Quavi Young, a 26-year-old woman from Cocoa in Brevard County. When she went to her local McDonald's and her food item was not on the menu, all hell broke loose. She brandished a firearm and started threatening the employee. That's when they called the cops.
What's the person with the gun? What's the person with the gun? ¿A dónde está la persona con la pistola? Hello. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
They gave us a call of a female with a handgun in their lap.
A handgun?
Yeah.
Oh no, so I'm here waiting, picking up my son.
Oh, okay.
No, I
Sorry to bother you.
Oh, no problem.
The officer quickly lets the person go their way, and then he turns to the drive-thru area, where he quickly spots the suspect and even her firearm. This woman seems to think that a concealed carry permit gives her permission to threaten others with the firearm, but she's about to learn this lesson the hard way.
Put that gun away. Put it down. Get out the car.
What you mean? I'm licensed to carry a gun, sir.
You're fine. You're fine.
Thank you.
You're fine. Put your hands back.
What are they talking about?
You have it concealed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I do.
All right, this is just for safety, okay? You're not under arrest right now.
Okay, thank you.
It's so refreshing to see a suspect comply with police requests. The woman then informs the officer that the gun is empty and there's nothing in the clip. The officer then takes her to the other side of the car, asking for ID and that concealed carry permit. At that point, the woman starts to lose her nerve a little.
You have your ID and your concealed permit?
Yes. What is the problem?
Apparently they saw your gun and they thought you were
It's in
threatening them.
it's in the car. I have it
Okay.
in my car. That's where I have it.
Okay, I'm just telling you.
It's no big deal.
You
She
asked
got
for
mad
it.
because she got mad because I asked for my order. That was the problem. I didn't do nothing. All I said was I'm still waiting on my #1 order because I asked for it. Now I'm trying to go home. She got mad. It was on some crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I'm still here waiting.
Okay.
Got a gun from me. I'm still waiting.
We don't know all that.
I don't care. That's the crazy part. She can say what she wants to say. That's weird. I'm still here waiting on my order.
And there it is. Even though she's surrounded by cops and about to be arrested, the Karen in her still comes out. She's still mad about not getting her order. Now, let's get into the legality of the matter. The right to bear firearms is granted to common people through the Second Amendment of the Constitution. Under this law, anyone with a valid permit can carry a firearm for the purpose of his, her, their safety in public. It's called the Concealed Firearm Carry Law, and it governs the way permit holders can carry the firearm with them in the public. This is different from the open carry license because it has to be concealed at all times. The 2023 Florida statutes determine what's a justifiable use of force, as well as restrictions to the concealed carry permit. But the very fact that the gun was visible could be considered a threat. On top of that, the employee claims there were real threats.
What is up being stopped for? What is the problem?
I just told you.
No, you did not, sir. No, you
She said
didn't.
She saw your gun
Okay.
and that you were threatening her with it.
I did not threaten her with nothing, sir.
Well,
At all.
that's
I
what
did
we're
not
here to
threaten her with
investigate.
nothing.
That's what we're here to
No.
investigate.
I've been sitting in the car. Why would I threaten someone and I'm still sitting in my car waiting on my order? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
She's not making any sense.
That's what we're here to figure out.
She's weird. Pull this up, please. Thank you.
At the person that thought she was a bus.
What? I did not say that. She's a liar.
So, unless the officers get some kind of footage proving that Quavi Young actually threatened the employee, this might turn out to be one of those he said, she said situations. The fact that they later found a full magazine concealed in her shoe does not help her case. The officers allow her to use her phone, and she's adamant that she never threatened anyone, and that the employees are lying. Even so, the suspect is mostly angry about still waiting for her food.
You have a valid driver's license, so you're allowed to drive.
Yeah,
Do you have that with you?
I can't believe this lady really just doing this. Like, what the how you do that?
I'm gonna let you go, but I want you to stay standing right here, okay?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
Just stay standing right here.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go anywhere. I didn't do anything. Why would I run anywhere?
I'm
I'm
not
still
saying
sitting here
running.
waiting on my food.
I'm not saying running.
Shoot.
I'm saying stay standing here.
I'm still waiting on my food.
Several times, the officer explained that his colleagues were watching the surveillance video, and if she didn't do anything, she'd be free to go. As the minutes pass, she grows more restless and keeps jabbering about the situation. Eventually, the officers do watch the video and decide to arrest the suspect on aggravated assault.
I would never do that. That doesn't make any sense. But people do it, of course.
People
You
get
can't trust
falsely
me.
accused
Of course, but I
all
didn't
the
do
time.
that. Nothing shows. Like,
People
what?
get
What the
falsely
heck?
accused
That's
all the
weird.
You're not listening to
I'm
me.
done.
All
I'm
right.
so tired of that.
Alright.
She's a liar. That's weird. I didn't do anything nothing that day.
You want to put her in the car?
For what?
This car. You're under arrest.
For what? What did I do? What did I do? Can you tell me why I'm on risk?
assault.
Assault of what?
Walk with me.
Can I get my phone so I can
Yeah,
come
okay.
on, please?
Yeah.
Assault for what? What? I didn't do no assault.
So she's placed under arrest and brought to the police station, where she takes off her jewelry and follows procedure without issues. We're used to Karens having fits of anger, but Quavi Young is a bit different. She complies with the orders without questions and keeps asserting that she did not threaten anything. So it's really strange that she would resort to threatening someone with a gun over a food order. But hey, weirder things have happened. Maybe it was a lapse of judgment, or she just failed to conceal it properly. Anyway, let's hope she just gets a slap on the wrist and learns her lesson. Even though we started out on a lighter note, it's time to strap in because we're about to enter a Karen maelstrom. Imagine being out and about in New York on a Saturday evening. After a crazy night out, you decide to go to your favorite Bell Fries restaurant to replenish all the energy you expelled in the previous hours. But what you're not expecting to do is to walk into sheer mayhem. The insane clip shows 3 Karens demolishing the Bell Fries restaurant. They were grabbing anything they could get a hold of and throwing it at the unfortunate employees. The customers were all taken aback by this intense onslaught, and they pulled back to the entrance while the assault seemed like it would never end. The women are seen climbing the counter, dancing, and thrashing everything. They even take glass bottles, still full with the caps on, and throw them at members of the staff. 2 staff members suffered head lacerations after they were hit by a metal stool, metal sauce pumps, trash, and ketchup bottles. The 3 women were later identified as Pearl Osoria, 27, of Manhattan, Chitara Placentia, 25, and Tatiana Johnson, 23, both of Brooklyn. They were arrested and charged with multiple offenses. Now, we're all aware that news reporters sometimes blow stories out of proportion, but this one did the opposite and called the entire incident a food fight.
Well, now to the city, where 3 women faced a judge today for their role in a wild food fight inside a Lower East Side restaurant. Now, this was the scene inside Bell Fries restaurant early Sunday morning. The chaos breaking out over the price of extra condiments.
The suspects were taken into custody and now face a number of charges, including assault. On Friday, they appeared in court.
Only 2 of the Karen trio appeared in court because one of them later assaulted an officer, and she was still in jail. What's even more surprising in this whole story is that Tatiana Johnson's lawyer actually thinks his client is somehow gonna get away with this.
The public has seen is a very, very limited piece of the information that's out there, and I believe once we get the full videotape and the full story of what happened that evening, it's going to be a much different version, and Ms. Johnson will be vindicated at the end of this case. There was more arguing going on. Certain words were used against my client that sort of heightened the situation.
Well, we still don't know what those words were, but whatever they were, they couldn't possibly justify the amount of aggression and rage that was displayed in the assault. So whatever this lawyer says, or whatever his angle is, I don't see it ever holding up in court. Do you think these girls have any shot of walking away without any form of penalty? Our next Karen is the epitome of an entitled woman who's had one too many drinks. This woman's name is Carol, and Carol's been complaining about the service in this restaurant. In fact, she's been complaining so much that she was asked to leave. When that didn't happen, the staff had no other choice but to call the police. Her eyes are glued to the phone, and at first she acts like the officer isn't even there.
Okay, the manager of this establishment has asked you to leave the business. Okay, you need to turn and walk out the door.
Love, the
way.
manager of this business is an idiot.
That may be, but you gotta go right now. Turn around and start walking there. Turn around. Come on, you don't want to go to jail. Walk out.
Go ahead.
Go on, walk.
Go ahead.
Go.
Go ahead.
For some reason, she feels compelled to defy the officers even though they're just doing their jobs. So what started as a simple complaint is now on its way to becoming something far, far worse.
You're under arrest. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. Hands behind your back. Ma'am, turn around. You're under arrest. Put your hands behind your back. Stop resisting. You're under arrest for trespassing. And resisting arrest.
Get your
I don't do requests.
get your hands off me.
Jupiter 968.
These cops are great. Not only do they keep calm throughout this situation, but they also have a sense of humor to go with it. But this thing is far from over because
Closer.
Because I
I'm walking it closer.
told the manager I wasn't happy with the waiter.
I'm not inferring anything.
You're welcome to stand on the sidewalk. It already is being recorded.
Record it.
It already is.
Because I told the manager that I wasn't happy with the waiters gossiping. When we were asking for our salt and pepper, and they were standing there talking together. And I said,
She was been arrested because she wouldn't leave the business after she was told to leave. That's why. You're under arrest. No. You pulling on this cuff?
Karen keeps complaining about the cuffs cutting her circulation, but she keeps on pulling on them. The officer kindly explains that if she stops pulling, it won't hurt at all. At one point, Carol, I'm getting things mixed up here, whoever she is, Carol mentions that her son is a state trooper, as if that's supposed to make things okay. But what happens next is even stranger. Somehow, this situation makes the flock of Karens come to the conclusion that they're living in a communist country.
I don't get this.
We're living in a communist country.
We're in communism. It's called communism. Right here, right now, this is what we got.
This is our dinner.
This is what we got.
Girls'
We
dinner
got
tonight.
criminals coming over the southern border, but we're going to arrest this woman.
6 women
We're
having
complaining.
dinner together.
Are you
And complaining about the service.
Why? Why?
She didn't leave when she was immediately told to leave, I believe.
That's what I think.
That's correct.
She was told on multiple occasions to leave. She tried to trespass the officer physically.
Yep.
After she was told to leave by management, so she's being arrested for failure to leave upon trespass and resisting arrest.
The officer once again explains to the spectating Karen what happened and what the reason for the arrest is. But that's not what they want. And when Karens don't get what they want, they get even more upset. So now it's time to start threatening the officers with social media, like that's gonna scare them away somehow. The only thing funnier than listening to a flock of middle-aged Karens arguing with officers is watching them fiddling on a smartphone trying to take a picture.
Can you let her go? She didn't understand what was going on.
She understood. She was given multiple warnings and told to leave.
No, let it go because I can't wait to see this play out.
You know what? We're going to post everything on Facebook.
Okay. You're more than welcome to.
Take a picture of us, okay? Take a picture of us.
I've been taking pictures.
Yeah.
I got them.
It's like
This warrant's being arrested? Are you?
women having dinner together.
The owner, the manager?
No, I'm the security supervisor.
The officers arrive and take Carol to the police vehicle. She seems to have given up at this point, but that's not quite true. What follows is one of the best lines I ever heard a police officer utter. The officer asks for her name, but she remains silent. Since she's refusing to say her name, he then proceeds to go through the woman's purse so he can identify her and check her for weapons.
You're legally required to tell me that information, okay? Okay. Do you have anything illegal in your purse? I'll have to search that for your identification.
Take pictures. Take pictures of him going through my purse.
You're under arrest.
What if that was your mother?
My mother wouldn't act like that, ma'am.
Well, I'm sure if you were
Yes.
misbehaving, she'd be putting you in her place, I would hope.
and I don't misbehave.
That's it. I'm a criminal.
Props to the police officers for keeping it calm and civil. I can imagine some other officers would lose their temper and escalate the situation. Luckily, things remain civil, even though the Karen that started it all remains delusional and fails to accept why she was being arrested. She keeps saying that she was arrested for complaining and that she lives in a communist country.
This is what I get for complaining about bad service to a bad manager.
That's not what happened.
That's
You were told to
exactly.
leave.
That's exactly what happened.
Yes, but it's,
And I am going to just see this all the way through. I am
it's a
so
private,
glad.
It's a private establishment. They can kick anybody out for anything.
Yeah, they can kick anyone out. Stay safe with this? Are you kidding? There's no safety here. This is a communist country. This kind of treatment.
At one point, Carol realizes where she is and what's actually happening. She's standing in a public parking lot in handcuffs and everyone can see her. This must be very humiliating for an entitled Karen, and it does not sit well with her ego, so suddenly she becomes eager to go to jail. Somehow, she's still convinced that she'll eventually get the upper hand in all this.
So why are we standing here? Let's get the show on the road.
So he just pulled up. We need a female to come over here. A male is not going to touch you.
Well, I am in public. So why is this all happening in public? The officer said he's going to take me into the police station. So let's go. I don't know why I'm standing out here. This will go in the history book, okay? I hope you're getting a good record of this. Yeah.
Karens often have a sense of grandeur which compels them to believe they're more important than they really are. And in that respect, this one is no different. But the truth of the matter is, there's nothing grand about this. Karen's just a middle-aged entitled woman who had one too many drinks and got herself into trouble. But the ordeal wasn't over yet. The officers start going to the precinct, but they haven't yet been able to search the suspect properly. Halfway there, they meet up with a female officer who's authorized to search a female suspect. But now, Carol changes her mind and wants to go back to the public place they just left.
I asked to be driven back to the public place where I was, instead of being in the secluded area where none of my friends and nobody can see me. I do not feel safe here, and I have been saying, I have been...
You have a police officer with you.
Are you kidding me? The police officer who put handcuffs on me and twisted my arm because I complained about the wait staff. No, I don't. I don't feel safe here, and I want to be in a public place.
Would you like to just deal with me only? I have nothing to do with this situation. I'm a female to female. I can just handle it. And ask them to step back.
Carol just doesn't make sense. Even though it's not a parking lot, it's a residential area, and there are houses all around. But not even the female officer can reason with her, and she refuses to come out. Once the officers start pushing her out of the car, she loses it.
Austin, do you want to pull her out that way? You want us to pull you across the car?
You're not gonna push me. You're not gonna prod me. You're not gonna twist my arm like you are now.
Just relax.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a man
Carol, take a breath. Relax.
like that? Get the off
You're
my
tensing and bracing your arms,
You're
twisting your hand,
my
holding your arm so you get under control.
My arm, I'm in a head punch.
Relax.
What
Take a
kind of
breath.
a man are you?
Relax.
I hate you. What are you pushing my hair
Let
up
her
for?
finish checking you.
Check your hair.
See this? This is how they treat a woman, a mother, a grandmother, a teacher, a therapist, a law-abiding citizen who goes to church.
And there it is in a nutshell. In Karen's mind, all of those things are supposed to exonerate her from all the bad things she did, like pushing an officer, resisting, and cursing at the police. All of that doesn't matter because she's a mother and a teacher and goes to church. In the end, she wound up in jail, but somehow, I don't think she learned a lesson. Do you? Do you think the cops should have let her go or not?
Is your name Trinity?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So what do we want to talk about?
Well, we're gonna go get the bartender. She's gonna say something to you in front of us, and then we'll get out of here in a few minutes, okay?
So the bartender directly wants to say something to Trinity.
You're Trinity, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the bartender wants to say something to you, so
Okay.
we're gonna bring her down
That's
here. We're just gonna wait here. We'll bring her down here, okay?
Okay.
Our next case takes us to Columbus, Ohio, where a young single mother had a few too many drinks as well. Her behavior in the bar was not recorded, but it was so obnoxious that the bar manager decided to call the cops. And according to her story, this is not the first time they've had issues with this young woman.
I just want this girl trespassing the bar, so when she goes back, then she'll actually get in trouble with that.
So she needs.
Just don't let her know you're calling us.
From here.
Call us and hopefully we'll
She's
get her
barred
when
from
she's
here.
here.
She
and then
knew
we'll
that already, but she came in here trying to fight one of the bartenders. She thought you were messing with him and run around. Well, I locked the door. I locked the door, and that's when I think she realized that we were like serious.
Every story has two sides of the coin, and this one is no different. Trinity immediately tries to throw the bar manager under the bus. However, seeing that her speech is extremely slurred and that she has trouble uttering a single sentence, Trinity's account of the evening, or any other event for that matter, is highly questionable. Even so, let's see what she has to say.
What happened tonight?
I literally came here and they've known me since I'm 24 now. They've been serving me since I've been 19.
I hope not, because that's illegal.
Yeah, that is illegal for them to do.
You should call the state liquor board then. 'Cause
I
they're the
would
ones that-
never do that. I'm not a snitch. Hey?
At that point, the officer asked her about being banned from the bar before. Trinity neither confirms nor denies the fact, but instead asked if the police are going to arrest her. So far, the officer doesn't want to arrest her, and she doesn't want to go to jail. So it seems like everyone is on the same page so far. Then the bartender comes by and tells Trinity that she's been trespassing. This is all the officers need to write a report, and if the young woman comes back, they'll be able to act upon it. So things should be settled at this point. But this is a drunk Karen, and you just know that things can go south at any moment. It can happen in the blink of an eye. Being accused of trespassing hurt Trinity's ego, so keep watching as she's about to go off the rails.
All right, Trinity, she's gonna say something real quick.
Hey Trinity, you're trespassing the bar.
I'm trespassing the bar, Abby.
Hey, you're good.
Don't do it
Yeah.
All right,
You're good.
you're good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Trinity, here's what happens. Trinity,
Bye, Abby.
Trinity,
Let me get
Goodbye,
your,
Abby.
Trinity, I
your,
need you to listen to me now. If you come back to this location, you could be arrested for trespassing, okay? All right, we're gonna take a report, and then you can go home.
So they talking about they put a report for me,
We're taking a report tonight.
so I can't be back here
Correct.
to that
To
bar.
the bar.
because they are some stupid.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's their establishment. They make those rules.
The officers then get Trinity's phone number and ask for her address. They clearly state that she's not being charged, but she's required to provide them with the information because they're making a trespass report. At one point, she pulls back and an officer flinches. They explained he wanted to make sure she wouldn't fall, but in fact, he probably expected her to start running. She then complies, provides the information, and the officers politely tell her to just go and spend her money somewhere else. And that should have been the end of it, right? Well, not with this Karen.
It's okay. It doesn't matter what the you say, Mr. Officer.
No, it does.
or
You
not.
can tell us whatever you want.
No, because they really act up here, so that's cool. It doesn't matter. I'm the scapegoat, so this doesn't matter. I don't care.
Do you have a ride?
Yes, I do.
One that doesn't involve you driving?
No, I don't drive at all. If you look up my name, you will see that my license is invalid, so therefore I can't drive.
Okay. Because I've never pulled someone over that didn't have a suspended
I'm sure
license
you
before.
have pulled a lot of people over that have
Yeah.
a suspended
How did
license.
you get here tonight?
But I don't lie.
How did you get here tonight?
This line of questioning from the officer is quite reasonable. Trinity is obviously very drunk, and they suspect she got there by car, even though she claims she walked. So the officer keeps asking her if there's someone she can call, so they're confident that she isn't driving back home herself.
Okay. Do you have someone that you can call for a ride?
Yes, I can.
Okay. My partner's gonna check your name, make sure you don't have any warrants. You don't have any warrants,
I hope
right?
I don't.
Paid all your traffic tickets?
I'm pretty sure that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
That would be really
I don't know,
unfortunate
if I
if you
get
didn't.
arrested.
That'd be really unfortunate if you did.
Trinity finally proceeds to call her boyfriend Gavin. After she's handed the report number, she joyfully tries to involve the officers in the conversation. But just as Gavin is confirming he'll pick her up, she realizes something.
Can you come pick me up? Where you at? I'm at Thirsties. I'm talking to an officer.
All Hopefully he's not drunk, because if he pulls into this parking lot and I...
Don't come! 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 Don't. You're away, and like that's okay. Like I'm never gonna be by myself.
Okay, so Trinity, you're saying that you want to stay right here in front of this business and wait for a ride.
Yep.
And you are not.
You Mr. Officers that you guys do.
Trinity, let me finish.
Once again, the officer explains that she's not allowed to go back to the bar, and that if she did, she'd be arrested on the spot. Trinity complies, and the officers leave, but that was never gonna last for long. Soon after, they get another call about her, and this time, they mean business. What follows next is something you expect to see in a UFC octagon, not in front of the bar.
Okay. Here we go.
Why don't you listen? Alright, show's over, guys. Show's over.
Trinity, we gave you a chance.
Trinity, we even offered you a ride home. Like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
By the chanting of the crowd, who seemed to be rooting for the police officers, it seems that Trinity was really the party pooper of the evening, and everyone wanted her gone. And like with most Karens, their entitlement turns into aggression, and it almost always ends in tears.
Phil and Loggett.
You alright? Okay?
Seat on the left, watch your head. Have a seat. Right there.
Obviously, Trinity ended up being arrested for trespassing. At the end of the day, it would have been wiser for her to stay home with her child than to get into an unnecessary situation like this. Hopefully, this young Karen learned a lesson, and she'll be more mindful of her actions in the future. We've already dealt with a hangry Karen who visits a McDonald's and does something crazy, but this one is even worse. This Karen from Altamont Springs wanted a McDonald's cookie so much that she was ready to go to jail for it. It was 11:32 p.m. on a Thursday when 24-year-old Amari Bente Hendricks drove up to a McDonald's drive-thru. When the employee failed to give her a free cookie as a part of the franchise's reward program, she got enraged and started threatening the employees, so they called the police. A police officer on a motorcycle was the first to respond to the scene, and judging from the first interaction with the woman, he can be quite positive he has the right person.
Stay right there.
Good.
Exit the car. Hands. Exit the car.
What?
Exit the car.
How you gonna tell me to exit?
Out of the car. Put it in park.
Who you yelling at? Who you yelling at?
Right here. Hands on the
Who you
hood.
yelling at?
Hands on the hood.
Who you yelling
Do you have a gun?
The reason the officer's asking about a gun is that the McDonald's employees claim that the woman was threatening them with a firearm. But what makes this incredible situation even more insane is that during the argument, the manager of McDonald's appeared and gave the woman the cookie she was so angry about. But at that point, the proverbial cat was out of the bag, and she pulled out a gun and threatened them. So it's reasonable that this officer was apprehensive when dealing with such a person.
The hands on the hood. Stop arguing. Hands on the hood. Hands on the hood.
My hands is on the hood. Why I have to put my hands on the hood? Am I arrested?
You're being detained.
How? Look, see what they doing to me, babe?
In front of Zoe's kitchen. Hurry up.
You see what they doing?
You heard me?
Even though this officer managed to handcuff the suspect, he remained reasonably cautious because there was a potential firearm involved, so he called for backup. The officers later said the suspect was resisting, although it was mostly verbal.
Why y'all doing all this? Why cops for all these cops?
Because they said you shot a gun over there.
Huh?
Once the other officers arrive, the arresting officer takes a laptop from his motorcycle case and starts processing the suspect. The entire time, the suspect is talking back to the officers, although it does not appear that she's physically resisting, nor is she shouting. The officer then instructs his colleagues to put the suspect in the police vehicle so they can continue the search for the weapon.
I'm on the car. I'm on the car. You don't have to
Just put her in the car.
No, you don't have to put me in the car. You don't have to. Let me get my
Hey,
stuff.
do not pull away from him.
I'm
Listen
not
to him.
pulling away from him.
Left fire.
What is you doing? What are you doing? Why you almost broke my arm? That's a lawsuit.
You're pulling away from him. Just listen to what he's saying.
I'm not pulling away from him.
I watched you do it.
I
watched you do it.
It's not long until the officers find the weapon in question. It was a Taurus GC3, and it was lying on the floor of the driver's side of the vehicle. According to the witness statement, during the argument, Hendricks pulled out a black handgun, inserted a magazine into the firearm, and racked the slide. The manager, who's had previous experience with handguns, said she heard 2 clicks, which she associated with someone chambering around into the gun. She then parked her blue car in front of the restaurant. The employees didn't manage to lock the door in time, so she entered, grabbed one of the employees by the arm, and started striking him. This incredible story quickly became fodder for the news.
In fact, one worker stated she was in fear for her life. The report says Hendricks did point the firearm towards the drive-through window, one worker saying he could see down the barrel of the firearm. Initially brought to the Seminole County Jail being held without bond, the judge did set bonds this afternoon totaling just over $30,000, telling Hendricks that if she's released, there would be other conditions.
Hendricks did have a legal permit that allowed her to carry a weapon, and at the hearing, she denied waving the gun at the drive-thru. However, surveillance footage shows her holding something similar to a handgun in her right hand and inserting something with her left hand. The video also shows her waving the object. All in all, she was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, improper exhibit of a firearm, battery causing bodily harm, and resisting an officer without violence. I wonder if her prison nickname will be Cookie Monster.